Hey guys, Jason again, code 0.5. We should have had you do your intro.
Oh man, I'm working on it. I'm working on one. I do want to throw out there that we are coming at you guys from the Wolf Brand Chili, hopefully, studios.
Yeah, that's all over the front of that car.
Oh, yeah.
You know I will never eat that stuff again.
Oh, come on. Did you see? I sent you a picture.
A picture?
Yeah, it was like a close-up of a Wolf Brand Chili can.
Oh, yeah.
It was like 11 o'clock at night or something. I sent it to you.
Nope, not happening. Hormel, that's all it's going to be for this guy.
Well,
That's all I ever touch. Anyway, on this episode, we're going to be talking about the rookies of our lives and maybe our rookie life.
ooh.
I know I didn't really get hazed, didn't really. And a matter of fact, when I've trained other guys, I haven't really done any of that hazing stuff.
Which I find hard to believe.
Where you jack with. I mean, it might happen every now and then. You know how you'll go on those calls where you see the address and they're like, oh, you know, this is freaking Karen's house again. I'm going to send Rookie up and I'm going to stand back and laugh.
Yup.
Now, I mean, I might do something to that, but hell, you got to experience that stuff for yourself. Everybody's got to go.
Yeah, then they get back from that, or they come back to the car and they're like, you mother, you could have told me. You could have told me she's got 3 personalities.
Yeah, you seen the memes where it shows the 2 officers standing back and it says what does it say? The supervisors as the rookie approaches the call for that one house.
Yeah. That one.
Oh, yeah. There's a few of them that I'll see the address and I'm like, oh, this is going to be perfect for Rookie.
Yeah.
Because you know this person's either off the rocker, they're usually drunk, or they're always calling in for some reason, whatever it may be. And you know nothing's going to happen to this guy, but they're going to go up there and just basically listen to somebody vent for a while about something that's most of the time probably doesn't even exist.
Yeah. Man, oh man, there's a lot of that.
Well, and you know, talking like I didn't really get a whole lot of the hazing stuff done to me, the rookie stuff. I know one time I left, I'm almost to the PD, and then I have to text my field training officer and said, "Hey, I've got to run back home real quick." Mm-hmm. And all he said, text me back, and he's like, "Okay," with a question mark, and I forgot my badge. And I'm like, so I got to run back home and go get my badge. Well, whenever you did stupid crap at the department I worked at, when they would hand you this little yellow rubber ducky, and you would have to carry that around with you the rest of the day.
Oh,
Every call you went to, unless it was like real serious in nature, you know, or whatever. But you had to carry that thing around you. So I embraced it. I mean, he gave me this. He's like, you're going to have to carry it around with you. And it's a little rubber ducky. And I had on like the old style cop hat or whatever. So it was like my little partner for the day.
yes.
So I just embraced that thing. I mean, I actually had fun with it. Yeah, where the, what's that called on your shoulder? That little piece of fabric there that they'll put their brass on or whatever.
Yeah, the like on your shoulder. What is that thing called? Now I'm going to have to Google whatever that is.
Well, whatever that piece is or that fabric is, I tucked that little rubber ducky up in there, and he sat on my left shoulder for it was probably just a couple hours of my shift before finally my field training officer was like, okay, you're having way too much fun with that, just take the stupid thing off. But everywhere I'd go, they'd say, hey, why are you holding that, or why do you have that? So I would have, as my punishment, I would have to tell people, well, because when I showed up for work this morning, I forgot my badge, so I had to go back home and get it, and this is my punishment.
That just so everybody's tracking, that fancy piece is called an epaulette, an ornamental shoulder piece on an item of clothing, especially on the coat or jacket of a military uniform. So that's what that fancy thing is called.
Yeah,
That's what I would have done with him, is tuck him under there.
Yeah, and I think I sat him on top of my gun, too.
Yeah, strap
sit there.
Heck yeah.
But
Freaking, you talking about badges and rookies. I got a great one. Renix, our man Renix.
yeah.
So he had an ED, or a call that turned into an ED. So he goes through all, and he's still learning.
Not erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, that's emergency detention. Of course, you know
Well, in his case, it might have been.
It might have been. It might have been. He's got some weird stuff in his search history. Ask me how I know that. Anyway, he went through, and this call turned into emergency detention. So he's doing his thing, and he's got to go through the iPad. And then at the time there was COVID and everything, so we had to take him and get him COVID cleared. Which, let me tell you, you haven't lived until you've had a person that has been up for 3 days, and they are in I would say like schizophrenic state. Think the government's after them, and you try to take them to the hospital to get a COVID test.
Yeah. Was it early when it first came out? So
yeah.
They had
where
to
they
stick
swab the nose?
Where they'd stick it like 4 feet up your nasal cavity or whatever? Oh, tickle your brain or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you would spend 30 minutes trying to get a rapport with this person, and then you'd go take them back, and then, they're doing their thing on the iPad, but then you have to go get them cleared. So now we have to stick something up your nose, sir, and he's screaming about government drones coming after him. Yeah.
We're sticking this tracker in your brain. I mean, you're getting a COVID test.
Right. And, a lot of the places, man, that's protocol, or was protocol. But you get some pretty cool nurses that understand your what you're going through and can see that this is probably not going to happen the way that they want it to. But anyway, he gets through all that stuff. And I think he had to take the guy down to, I forget, I think it was probably maybe an hour away or 45 minutes away or something like that. Anyway, he messaged me when he gets back, and he goes, hey, I'm back. I was like, okay, cool. And then a little while later, he goes, hey, do you have my badge? I was like, why would I have your badge? Why don't you have your badge? Oh, it's probably in front of the PD. So he goes and looks, and he's like, oh, I think I left it at the hospital. Do you have a number for the hospital? And I was like, do you have the same internet I do? Like, Google it, find it, I ended up calling up there, and so they go out and look in the room and everything, and it's not there. So I call him back. I'm like, dude, it's not there. I was like, unless they're messing with you, unless you made them mad, but they're saying it's not there. And he's like, crap. I was like, you know what you have to do now, and I am not making that phone call. And he's like, yeah, I'll call where I dropped him off. And so he calls, and they go out and look, and I guess it wasn't there either. And I was like, did you stop anywhere else? Anywhere? Like, did you get anything to eat? Anything? And he's like, yeah, I did. He goes, I did adjust my stuff when I was I pulled him to the parking lot of a Home Depot. And I was like, well, I said, I guess you know what you got to do now. And he's like, what? He ended up having to call their dispatch, and they called another officer to go check over in the parking area of the Home Depot. And they were going to tell him that they didn't find it just to mess with him. They ended up finding it, and he ended up having to drive back. But, oh, he was so mad. He was embarrassed.
Did that agency let you know that they found it and that they were going to screw with him? Or?
No. Well, after he said when he went to go pick it up, that the officer that he picked it up from was gonna tell him that they didn't find it, but they didn't want to. They didn't want to be like that because they didn't really. We don't work real close with them. They wanted to mess with him, but they didn't know how we would take it, so they left it alone. But yeah, he had that happen.
Oh, that so would have been the greatest thing ever if they would have called in to you and been like, hey, we found this badge laying in the parking lot that your officer left. We're going to screw with him and see how long it takes him to let you know that he lost that thing.
I would have let him because he definitely needs it. Definitely needs it. And you got to get knocked down a peg or two. We had the first football game of the season. And what the senior parents are trying to do, they're trying to get, school spirit up and everybody out and about and trying to get more people involved and get people to the game. So they set up this deal. They said they're going to start tailgating. So they're doing they're doing food and.
That's a good idea. It gets people involved in that.
Oh yeah. It gets all the families together and everybody gets to know each other and stuff. It's a, community thing. It's really cool. I think it's a cool idea. That I get over there to the game to help with security and, wouldn't you know, Renix is over there with his chest puffed out. I was like, what are you doing? He's standing here eyeballing some cornhole boards. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, are you going to get you a set or what? And he's like, I'm telling him they got to pick that up. It's blocking the parking space. I'm like, pick what, dude? He's like, they got all that grass right over there they can play, and they got to play right here in parking space. I was like, bro, this is the first ever thing that has ever happened like this for our football team in our school, and you're going to break up the tailgate? You're going to be that guy?
Debbie Downer.
Yeah. Taking up all these parking spaces.
Officer Buzzkill.
Yeah. Yeah, he was dead set.
So they're out there grilling and cooking out and playing games. And man, I mean, if you've ever, and most people probably have, or I hope they have, and experience this, go to a college football game where everybody's doing that. And it's so much fun. Everybody gets together and laughs, has a great time. It actually brings more people, and then they'll go in and watch the game. You can help. That'll help us with the school and their program, and then.
Oh yeah. The senior parents came up with that. They were looking for a way to try to start drawing, and they put it out. They put it out, told everybody it was going to be going on. Everybody come support the football team, and here he is. He's eyeballing cornhole boards, fixing to start scratching off citations.
We'll have more coming up on Code 0.5.
If you're looking for a political podcast that goes beyond the headlines, check out the Beltway Briefing. I'm Howard Schweitzer, CEO of Cozen O'Connor Public Strategies. Every week on the Beltway Briefing, our team of former Republican and Democratic presidential appointees, Capitol Hill veterans, and political advocates shares behind-the-scenes perspective that cuts through the noise. If you want the inside scoop, subscribe now to the Beltway Briefing here or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you ever call him Barney Five? Does he have one bullet per shift?
Speaking of Barney Fife, this is off topic, off the rookie thing, but on the Barney Fife, I've got a guy that I've been dealing with, and we've been going back and forth. He got a tampering with utilities citation, and he said he didn't know, and he emailed me, and it took me a day or so to get back to him, and he emailed me, and then he sent me a crappy email. And then, so that right there, I was like, nah, we ain't playing that. So I'm like, sir, your problem will be addressed despite what people think. This isn't Mayberry. This freaking dude sent me an email back and it said, "Dear Sheriff." So yeah, so now he's playing along with it too. So now all his emails start with "Dear Sheriff," I'm like, oh, God, you got me. And I've been trying to figure out a way to professionally get back at him, but
is he gonna next time he sees you, he's gonna call you Andy?
Oh yeah,
Andy Griffith.
Yeah.
We got to stay on the rookie thing. We can have days and days of this rookie, especially with the rookie you got.
Oh yeah, he is something else. I don't know. God, we give him heck.
And it's amazing how you see these rookies come out and they got their chest is puffed out and they think they're tough. And it's like, look, dude, there's times where you need to enforce the law. And then there's other times where you need to show some compassion. And, they want to be the, Billy badass. I just got out of cleat. I'm going to do this and that. And it's like, man, it's not always the time for that.
Exactly.
It's the best things is when they go on a call and then you get to, take a needle and kind of pop their chest and let them deflate a little bit. And
yeah, when they realize, or they get done with it, you let them handle it and they get done with it. And it's like, man, you were that guy on that call. And what do you mean? Why did you do that? Like, but think about this, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you give them, then you got to lay out the points, and then that's when they deflate. It's like, yeah, you're just being an ass. That's not what we're supposed to do. Like, why was a guy, what did he do? Like, was he crappy to you? Or did he try to fight you on a traffic stop or something? No. Oh, you're the police. He went on this reminds me of another, the same guy, Renix.
Keep going.
Yeah. Oh, Renix, man. We got him for days, but he had a call up on the north side and it was in another, emergency detention, and it was a female, and so he's like, great, I have one of these, and this was like one of the very first ones he did, so it was before he lost his badge, but anyway, so he messages our group, me and the major, and he's like, great, I have an ED, one of y'all want to walk me through this? I don't know what to do, I need some pointers. How do I talk to her? I'm like, major's like a person. You don't come at it like you're, and I'm chiming in. I'm like, yeah, like imagine that's your mom or your sister or something, you know what I mean? One of your friends, talk to them like that. You don't have to be a cop. And then Major hits him with, yeah, You don't have to be in cop mode all the time. And Renix fires back with, I don't know how to not be in cop mode. So now every time he does one of those chest puffed rookie things, it's like, oh, Switch must have got stuck in cop mode. Oh, he gets so mad.
He went through his 16 weeks of learning how to be a cop, and then he all of a sudden doesn't know how to turn it off. This is the only way to be.
That's it. It's jammed on now. He's got one gear. Let's go. No, and yeah, don't get me wrong. I give him crap. He does a lot of things. I mean, there's a very major learning curve on this, to this, I would say, profession. There's a lot to learn on it. So, it's like you said, it's learning when to, be nice until it's time to not be nice. What's that movie? So, what's his name? Oh, Dirty Dancing was in it. What's his name? Patrick Swayze. There you go.
Oh, yeah, Roadhouse.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, you got to be nice till it's time to not be nice.
Yeah.
That's what we try to tell him.
I mean, you can't give him a little bit of credit, though, because, I mean, when he first started, it was kind of like, holy crap, where'd you get this guy? But now, after it's been a little while, there's some things he's catching on to, so he's getting there.
Yeah, he's getting better. He's not as bad. Well, we had one guy, and this kid, I'm surprised that he even wanted to come out and do it. He's from a law enforcement family, so he's been around law enforcement, the people, and basically, kind of law enforcement life all his life. And he was the exact opposite of what you would expect to go into law enforcement. But he decided he wanted to try it, and he talked to his dad, and was like, yeah, this is what I want to do, I think. His dad's like, well, go reserve somewhere, get you some time and decide if it is. So we brought him on, and I'm telling you, it was like square one. This guy, I mean, he would come in for shift, and I mean, you'd have to be like, bro, tuck your shirt in. Look, man, you gotta knock the beard down. Dude, comb your hair, like, his belt would be on all crooked and his stuff. I'm like, man, you got like 5 seconds to yourself before we go 10-8, because you never know what's going to happen. But I actually had him out on it was a domestic, and it was a mom and then her son and the son's girlfriend. Well, mom and the girlfriend had got into it, and we ended up getting called because his girlfriend assaulted mom. So when we get there, we're talking to mom, and there's obvious marks. You can tell there was a fight, stuff tossed everywhere. And so this rookie is out here with mom and the son, and I go into the next room, and I'm talking with the female, the suspect. And she's like, yeah, tells us she waylaid her, pretty cut and dry. She's got marks on her. So I'm like, okay. So I go ahead and I hook her up, and I'm walking her out of the room. Well, she comes out first. I got her, she's walking in front of me. I'm behind her. So as we come around, I start towards the front door with her, and the boyfriend sees it. And it was immediate, dude, immediate. He like swung, and he swung so hard that the next thing I know, all I heard was a thump. And I turn around and look, and there's this kid, this rookie, like sitting on him. Well, not on him, but like got him in an arm bar and is like holding him down. And then we go over there and get him detained. And I was just like, where did that come from? Like out of nowhere. It's like this dude's spidey sense went off, and he caught that. That dude would have cold cocked me. I'd have been slept. It would have been bad.
He shows up for work, and you got to teach him how to get dressed, and then the next thing you know, he's saving your tail.
Yeah, for real. I was like, keep doing that.
Yeah, and you're always wondering, it's like, maybe there is hope for this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was good, man. He had the right sense of humor for it. I mean, he was twisted.
And there's a guy that I was training, and sometimes I still wonder if he's ever going to get it, but he got a call, and it's just a phone message. He just needs to call this person and talk to him. But this person calls habitually, and she's one of those that when she wakes up, she starts drinking Keystone Light. Ooh. And doesn't stop until she passes out that evening.
Yes.
So she calls one day, and she's upset because her electric bill is like through the roof. Mm-hmm. And I tell my rookie, I'm like, look, just call and talk to her. I mean, all she's wanting to do is vent to you about her electric bill. Let her talk just a little bit and to vent, but I mean, you got to get off the phone. We got other calls to take care of, but just let her vent, let her talk to you.
Right.
And he's like, okay. So he calls her, and I'm sitting there listening to him talk and what he's saying, and she says something to him about how her electric bill was high, and he's like, really? He goes, well, how high was it? And she goes, my electric bill was $320, and he goes, holy crap. And she was like, well, you don't need to be a smart ass. And he goes, no. He goes, your electric bill's freaking outrageous. He goes, mine's like $180 to $210 a month, and yours is like, I mean, $100 and something more than that. That's outrageous.
He's up there.
And she was like, well, yeah, I know why it's happening. I need y'all to come down here and fix it, take care of it. And he goes, okay, well, what can we do to fix this for you? What is it? And she goes, well, in my house, I've got like 3 or 4 heaters down here, and it's cold as can be. It will not warm up, and I freeze all day long. Well, there's some asshole that's living in my attic that he's got a big heater up there, and he stays nice and warm, and he's the one that's making my electric bill so high.
Wow.
And, I mean, he's got it on speakerphone, so I'm hearing it, and I look over at him. He's got a grin on his face, and I'm like, I wonder what he's going to say to this. And he's like, well, he goes, I'll tell you what. I'm going to get in my unit and we'll come down there and we'll see if we can talk to the guy about turning his heater down or something or whatever for you. But he goes, can you do me a favor until we get there? She goes, yeah, sure. And he goes, can you like climb up in your attic and holler at this guy and ask him if you can borrow his heater until we get there so you can stay warm.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I look over at him and you can hear her and she goes, well, aren't you just a smart ass? And she hangs up on him. And I looked at him and was like, did you have that muted or something? Or did you really tell her that? And he goes, no, that's what I said to her. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I bet we don't need to go down to that house. And he goes, no, we probably wouldn't be received too well.
No, I don't imagine.
But as this stuff's spitting out and spewing out of his mouth, I'm just looking at him and I'm like in awe. And I'm like, is he really saying this shit to her?
and he was. He was. I think you told me who that was. That one doesn't surprise me.
Yep. And he's an all right guy. He's just freaking squirrely as can be. He's a goofball.
Yeah, he is.
And I think he's at that time was trying to just like fit in and say funny stuff or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, oh my gosh, if we get a complaint on this, they're going to talk to me. Yeah. And
hey, I don't even know how you would even handle that. Like, I was trying to drive. I couldn't. I almost wrecked us trying to slap the phone out of his hand. You know?
Well, the bad thing about it is we were in the office when he did that.
Oh,
and
really?
There was other people around when he said that. I'm like,
oh, yeah, that's different.
Yeah. Like, look, dude, no.
Oh.
And then after it kind of smoothed over, and we told the undersheriff at the time, he kind of heard the conversation. He looked at us and we told him what all was about. And he goes, you talking about that drunk, crazy lady that lives over on such and such? And we're like, yeah. And he goes, oh, hell, you're all right. He just turned and walks off.
Jeez.
But, man, there is some fun times when you're with those rookies and seeing the crap they do and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like they're in that mode where, we're superheroes. We can do everything.
That would be cop mode, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
gotcha.
Registered trademark of code 0.5. Hashtag cop mode.
But you'll get the call where it's like, hey, me and my girlfriend broke up and I want, a cop to come over here with me and they're going to help me get my belongings out of the house and that kind of stuff. And your rookie is like, okay, yeah, we can come down there and make sure it's all right. And then you're as a veteran, you're like, no, we don't do that.
No, don't do that.
And then you tell the people, you're like, no, this is an adult thing. You guys just need to be adults and settle your affairs and be civil.
Exactly.
And I've thanked a few people for actually being civil and handling their affairs like adults, but golly, it does not happen very often.
No, it is rare. It is very rare. It's almost, I don't know, you got it. They get into arguments or, guy and girl get into arguments and then that's it. You're done. You need to get out. And then you got them calling, well, they kicked me out. Do I have to go? And then the other half calls, and they're like, I kicked him out, tell him he doesn't need to come back, but they've got established residency. And it's like, you're going to have to figure something out. And then you're the bad guy for telling them how it works.
Instead of calling us cops, people should just call us daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, let me call cop daddy because brother and sister are getting into it, so we got to freaking...
That's a new one.
...deal with it. And I mean, that's how we are.
We're doing that one too.
Cop daddy.
Cop daddy. Cop daddy.
Not the first one, the
Not
second
the first
one.
yeah. No.
But yeah, that's what we do. Counselors, Anyway, we've had you guys on the wire here. Wire? Is that what we're going to call it?
Is that what it is?
No, we're not on the phone. Anyway, we've had you guys on this podcast for a little while. We're going to jump off here. Don't forget to visit our website, code05.co. Leave us a review somewhere, something.
Yes.
Spread the word.
Please.
Tell people. Oh, I didn't tell you about this.
What's that?
I'll tell you on the next episode.
Oh, okay.
See y'all later.
Later.